Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got out on the Bullet for a ride. I've got Sue with me. We thought we'd do a bit of a review on how comfy the Bullet is and is it practical enough to ride two up. I'm not starting from home now. I've already done about 80 kilometres, 90 kilometres this morning. And the reason I didn't start from home with it is because I nearly know every bump, ripple and pothole in the roads local where I live. So we've come out to a place, well, where we're actually going I've never been to before. It's somewhere Sue knows. I think it's got a ski resort at it. Not as we're going to go skiing this time of the year, like, but just a nice ride to it. But it's quite a long ride out, this is. Up to now for me, yes, I can tell the difference on the Bullet 2 up. It just takes the edge off it, and Sue's not very heavy. Still cruises its normal speed at 90, 100 kilometres an hour with some throttle. I can still overtake things if I wish. It's a pleasant ride. Now, on the bumpy roads, I have noticed a difference. The suspension's on the stock rear shock, so it's not bad at all, really. But is it enough to cope on a long journey? It's beginning to batter me about a little bit, actually. I say it's totally different when you're riding local. I can ride to my nearest town, and without thinking about it, I know, oh, there's a pothole up here, there's a hill coming, or what have you. But when you're riding on sort of roads you're not familiar with, and roads that's got a lot of traffic on, it's very busy. Today is Sunday, so there's a lot of people out, and the weather here is, well, it's summer here, so it's always busy at the weekends. I wouldn't like to say Bulgarian drivers are any different to drivers anywhere, but they seem so impatient. You're not long before you look in the mirror and you got 4 or 5 cars behind you queuing to get past you, which I'm doing slightly over the legal speed limit, but this is real-time driving. This is real-life driving. You can't say, well, they shouldn't be exceeding the speed limit. You can say what you want. What actually happens when you're riding on the roads is a different matter. I don't quite have the power to get away from things, if you know what I mean. It's like going around a major roundabout. I can have vehicles behind me, and as we go round the roundabout and I just pull out onto the straight bit of road where I'm going, there you look in the mirror and all you can see is a car tight behind you. You don't have the power to pull away from them, just to give yourself a bit of space. But I know it's not maybe a touring bike, but there isn't such a thing as maybe not a touring bike. You can tour on anything. It's like you can go on your Himalayan. I do moan a bit sometimes. I'm thinking, oh, the same as the Himalayan, these smaller CC bikes, yeah, I think if you've got back roads constantly, it's okay. But that's like where we're going. We're heading towards a mountain, but to get to that mountain I've got to travel down some main roads. No, there's no other way I can do it. So it's like this morning we've had Arctic lorries passing us where there isn't really room. No, they start to pass you and they're 3/4 of the way past you, and I have to brake to let them get past me because I can see there's something coming. And this is the things I don't like about the smaller bikes, which isn't the Bullet's problem, but it's just in the general package, really, isn't it? But 2 up, yes, it has made a difference. It's just took the edge off the bike. On the flat it doesn't seem so bad. As soon as you come to a hill, which we've got loads of around here, then it is. It's like now we're in a 80 km speed limit, and fucking great Jeep is tight behind me then passing me. This is the difference. Real time riding, not legal, but that's the life. That's life. That's just how it is, isn't it? Well, I've just stopped and asked Sue what she thought of it, because she loves this bike, but she's only ever been local on it before. Now we're on different roads where I don't know where the ripples are. It's not so much the potholes, it's the ripples in the road off the lorries, and she's been finding it a little bit uncomfortable. I think she got off between you and me and was being, let's just say, positive in her reaction. But I just said to her, I said, well, when we get to where we're going, we're going to stop and have a cup of coffee. I says, I can ask you on your reviews. And she says, oh, I'll be positive about it. I said, I don't want you to be positive about it, I just want you to say what you think about it. Because there could be somebody else's wife or girlfriend watching the video thinking, look, she says it's great on the back of this bike. And if it's not, it's not. You know, just say what you think, really. I love this, and on my own I can cope with it to a point. If I just go out for a ride on a Saturday or a Sunday, a local ride to me, time I've been there, back, or around a loop I do, will be 350 kilometres. So they're not small rides, just for a Sunday. And I do find it does tire me out a little bit. Now, I'm the sort of person as well, maybe it's my riding style, I know some people stop every hour for a coffee for half an hour. If I do 350 mile loop, I might stop once and only for 10 minutes, but that's just how I am. So I'm spending quite a lot of my time sat in the saddle, really. Now there's guys in America, Australia and places that's riding these, and they'll be doing a lot more mileage than I do. Some people can do it. I do look on the forums and I see other people that's been in long rides and the mileage are covered, and I think, well, I know how fast that bike's going to be going. Sometimes I don't know how they're doing it, but this is my review on my bike, on how I ride with it. All this the time, it's like when the bike's in the garage, I absolutely love it. If I'm not riding too far, I absolutely love it. If I've got to go a long way on it, then it becomes a little bit of a different issue. I think I'll probably get bored sitting at 100 kilometres an hour, like. Yeah, but besides that, it's been okay. I'm enjoying myself. It's a bit of a day out with the wife, the weather's lovely, should be really pleased. Now the bit of road I'm on at the moment, it's like a billiard table, smooth as anything. The two vehicles in front of me are sticking to the speed limit, so now at this very moment there's no problem whatsoever. I could sit at this all day long. But there we go, somebody going past already. It won't be long before somebody wants to pass me, because they just cannot drive at the legal speed limits here. And there you go. Yeah. So I'd say the comments are going to be, well, I think you got the wrong bike here, or you need a faster bike for your long trips out. I know, crossing my mind, it keeps crossing my mind. I'm using the B line today again, it's working well. It says 5.8 kilometres we're going to turn off, so I assume that might be on the mountain roads then, so we shouldn't be too far from where we're going. I'm going to turn the camera off now, but I'll probably turn the camera back on if the mountain roads are decent, so you can have a look at a bit of the view. Right, we're heading up to a place called Com Peak. This is the mountain roads, and as you can see, not exactly a main road. But the bike should handle this reasonably well. Just a bit bumpy. Looks like they've typical Bulgaria, they're going to do repairs on the road, and they probably dug this out last year. This is how they are here. Dug it out to re-tarmac it and still not done it. It might not even be this year. How's the bike handling it? 2 up. It's handling it. I suppose it's this. I think one of the things is, if it's your only bike, it's surprising how you can get used to things and you ride round to things. But when you've got a choice of bikes, that's a different matter. You think, oh, I brought the wrong bike today, but when is the right bike is the question, really. To me, how things are, should I just have one bike that covers all scenarios, which would be, to be honest, a bigger adventure bike. I think for where I ride, it's got to have good suspension. And then the problems I've come across this morning with trying to keep out of the way of the traffic, for my own safety's sake, it needs a bigger engine. It's a shame. Can't complain about the Bullet. She's doing everything she's designed for. The days that I find myself riding around with no traffic, it seems absolutely great. Can't fault it, love it. But on days where it's busy and the impatient Bulgarian drivers are out, which I think is, out of every 10 drivers, 8 of them are impatient. It's just how they are. I sometimes think the most dangerous thing Bulgaria's ever done wasn't let the Bulgarians have access to a car. I honestly do. But that's not the bike's problem. But there again, you've got to fit your bike into the situation that you're riding, I suppose. It's like, this is a bumpy road. This isn't an adventure bike, but this bike copes with this nicely. Now, I don't know what Sue's thinking at the moment, because it is rather bumpy, but we'll certainly find out when I get to the top, I think. I suppose this isn't a really fair 2-up review, is it?
The Himalayan might be the better option.
Yeah, but the Himalayan's got less power than this has. Oh, hang on. Christ. Thing is, this is where you get to see the nice stuff, innit?
Yeah.
But is this the bike to see it on? What do you reckon?
As I just said, I think the Himalayan would have been a better option today.
Yeah. Thing is, when I'm out on my own, this is the sort of stuff I like to go find. And finding it on basically a road bike,
Yeah.
isn't always the best. But down here, look. A place down there, look. Oh, so these are some big trees, aren't they? Ooh, Christ. It's lovely up in the mountains though, isn't it?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's why I always come up here. Okay, hell. It's as cool up here as it has been in the house with the aircon on.
Yeah.
When the roads are like this and you're going at this speed, I find this okay.
Yes.
This is okay for it.
Yeah.
But you can't guarantee it's like this all the time, can you?
It's like the people who've come over, it's been around or something.
Yeah, it's too much for this really. You know, there's a matter of, will it do it? Yes, it will.
Yeah, but it's what it does do, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's like the engine characteristics for what we're doing here. This is far better than the Himalayan.
Yeah.
It just ticking over.
It's type of surface.
Yeah, it'll just pull up here lovely. Oh, it's beautiful here, isn't it? Right, we're back home now. Guess we forgot to take extra battery with him. So we run out of battery for the camera. As we had a ride out today, as you'll see on the video what I had to say about our ride today, I know part of it probably wasn't a fair try for the bike, because it was going up a quite steep mountainside where they took the road out, but we did do quite a lot on the tarmac. You got my thoughts on it. So, well, what did you think of it, Duck?
Not a lot, to be perfectly honest. The last time we went out on the bike, it was local roads that we knew where all the potholes were, and in fairness, you were avoiding them as much as possible, weren't you? So I thoroughly enjoyed the ride. I thought the bike was absolutely fantastic. Suspension seemed brilliant. I loved it basically, but quite frankly, I didn't think the same today at all.
No, we both ended up with a bad back actually, haven't we?
We both got backache tonight, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the problems was you can look on paper for the specs of a bike, and even you see all the videos on YouTube about, well, you have to ride the bike to how it is, you know, go back roads, avoid the main roads. We had to go on some main roads today, and it showed up a big problem. Now the thing is, for us to get to where we wanted to go today, there was no back roads really. It's nearly all sort of a A-type road or the fast roads. And we approached a big city called Montana at a roundabout, and I went round the roundabout, and as soon as we straightened up to go down the next road, I was looking in my mirror and there's a queue of cars behind me, and I mean they're behind you, just behind you, and when they come past they're trying to sneak past between traffic coming the opposite way, so you've got cars within touching distance of you.
If I'd have put my hand out, I could have touched the cars.
Yeah, and you don't have the speed or the power to get out of the way. And today the temperatures have been extremely hot, high 30s, 38, something like that, 40. And what we found when we was coming home, because all the roads in Bulgaria are very, very busy with lorries, you'll have maybe a line of lorries, always a minimum of 3, could be more. What happened was I didn't have the power to really overtake them when I could, so I could do nothing else but sit behind them, and they was travelling at anywhere between 90 and 100 kilometres an hour, and the heat off the back of them was absolutely stifling. To one point we actually pulled in, stop and have a drink of water just to let the lorries we've been following all the way to get away from us. Then no sooner as we was ready to go again, we pulled out, we just come across more lorries. And what happens is, on the flat, there was, well, and some of the hills, wasn't it, mainly, they was actually pulling away from the Bullet.
They got more acceleration than you had, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
In some cases.
2 up, yeah. 2 up, to me, it didn't make too much of a difference to the bike. On the flat it didn't at all, but the hills it did. I could tell the difference then, and the other thing as well, the brakes wasn't so brilliant too, were they?
No.
And you don't weigh much, do you? So I'm not asking you to say how heavy you are.
A lot less than you, dear.
Well, yeah. So it begs the point of what to do with the Bullet. See, when I ride out on my own, I'm usually gone about 5:30 in the morning before anybody else is up. So I've got an open road, no traffic, and it's not much of a problem. But if you go anywhere, it's a long distance. Sometime you're going to come against the traffic, and there's nothing you can do.
I'm going to Romania about 2-3 weeks time, depending on the weather, if the storms have passed. That's the transfer garrison, and I can't make my mind up whether to take the Himalayan or the Bullet, and I've been leaning towards the Bullet, but I'm not so sure now. But there again, the Himalayan's not actually as fast as the Bullet, doesn't have as much horsepower, doesn't have as much torque, has better suspension, so we'll have to see. So
I wasn't overly impressed with it today, no. I love the look of the bike, and only being 5'2", the bike is so easy to get on and off with being low. Whereas the Himalayan, I do have problems with my knee a bit, and I do struggle getting on and off the Himalayan. So for me, the Bullet's always been my #1 choice.
Well, for us getting a bit older, it's great. It's even for me because it's low, it's easy.
Yeah.
Good steering, low seat. It's great for us, wasn't it?
But in fairness, after today, I'm not quite so sure. What we have said is, as a test of the two bikes, we're going to do exactly the same route next time out on the Himalayan, so we can compare one against the other and see what we think then, aren't we?
Yeah, because the actual mountain road was definitely Himalayan road, wasn't
Without
it?
a doubt, Himalayan territory. It was horrendous in parts.
It was terrible, wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so anybody thinking of riding two up on a Bullet? Because this review will also correspond with the people who's got the 350 Classic, the 350 Bullet. Because if you look at the specs of the bike, the frames, the seat, the wheels, most of it's identical. It's just the Bullet's got a bigger engine, so it could even be worse to up on a 350. I have seen some reviews, but these are from people that's borrowed a bike from a shop, and I just totally believe you're never ever going to get a true review from somebody that borrows a bike. It's not theirs. But
one thing we have forgotten to mention is vibration.
Yeah, there was a bit, wasn't there?
There was definitely vibration through the foot pegs for me on the back.
Yeah, it could be because on my own, I don't get that much now. I've done all my mods, but we was having to make it work harder, the engine, which I don't as a rule. I only sort of going up to half throttle with it because of the hills, the traffic. I was having to make it rev a lot harder.
On acceleration, there was quite a bit of vibration at points. Once you got to your cruising speed, then it virtually disappeared.
Yeah.
But on acceleration, you could definitely feel it, especially on the left-hand foot peg.
Yeah, I understand that. It's a trait of the bike anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And making it work like I was having to do today, that's showed up again, really, hasn't it?
It did, yeah.
Anyway, so I hope this was interesting for you. If it was, big thumbs up. Please subscribe, as it does help the channel. Any comments down below. You know Sue always answers them.
Unless they're too technical.
Yeah, and we'll see you in the next video again then. Cheers.
Right.